Let's get you the headlines. China spying allegations. Rishi Sunak has said he will not accept what he calls Chinese interference in the UK's democracy.
The whole House is rightly appalled about reports of espionage in this building. The sanctity of this place must be protected.
As rescuers use their bare hands to dig in the rubble, questions about why Morocco's government hasn't accepted more international aid. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has reportedly begun his journey to Russia for the meeting with Vladimir Putin. And UK dog laws under scrutiny after this American Bully XL attack on an 11-year-old girl.
North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has crossed into Russia for talks with President Vladimir Putin. BBC News. Thousands of Israelis have been protesting ahead of a Supreme Court hearing on Tuesday on the government's judicial overhaul. Justices will hear petitions against a recently passed law which prevents the use of the so-called reasonableness clause. In the US, the Food and Drug Administration approved updated COVID vaccines as cases and hospitalizations continue to rise. The boosters made by Pfizer and Moderna target new variants currently circulating. Once the CDC signs off on the vaccines, shipments could get to pharmacies by the end of this week. The updated vaccines were approved for people aged 12 and older, and emergency approval was authorised for those aged 6 months to 11 years. It's been close to 30 years since the Bosnian War in the former Yugoslavia. The Srebrenica massacre, as it is known as the worst conflict in Europe since World War II, claiming 100,000 lives and displacing over 2 million people. Bosnia hoped to begin healing after a peace deal was signed in 1995 between leaders of the Muslim, Serb and Croat communities. This is the region today, and now the UN is warning of renewed crises as the Serbs are threatening to break away from Bosnia. Ethnic Serbs live primarily in these areas. Some are angry after the idea of genocide denial was banned. This after their leaders described the genocide of 8,000 Bosnian Muslim men and boys at Srebrenica during the war as a myth.
Egypt has voiced its anger after Ethiopia announced it filled the reservoir at a controversial hydroelectric dam on the Blue Nile River. Ethiopia has been in dispute with Egypt as well as Sudan over the project since its launch in 2011. Egypt relies on the Nile for nearly all its water needs and says Ethiopia is disregarding the interests of the downstream countries.